Pascal, you mentioned you're not really into writing, that you don't really like to write, but of course you wrote the script to On the Horizon.
Yeah.
What are those first days like, and what's your process like to finish it?
I think it's the white pages. I think it's just a boring. Some people love to write. They thrive on it, and oh my God, I wrote so many pages. Sometimes it's fun when something works and something is easy, but just the process of writing, formatting, is just, I think it's just boring, and it doesn't take a long time. It's just a process. I'm a visual person. I love to shoot, to see beautiful thing. That's way more fun. So that's why it's just, like, for example, I know now I'm preparing my other feature film, and I'm like, okay, now it's time for the writing part. And I got an idea, but still it's like, okay, now I want to make sure, and that's the thing, I've learned so much from my first feature film, now I'm going to apply everything in my second, but still the same process goes back to first line of the page one. So that's what I kind of dislike.
Well, you said that your first choice would be to be a musician, and that you really resonate with music.
Yeah.
Do you feel that you're a better writer when you have certain emotional music playing?
Totally.
And that you can just channel stuff that you can't even put into words out?
Yeah, totally. And some of my best work was based on music. When sometimes I have a song already, I see images, but sometimes it's just a scene. And sometimes that scene is great, but does it fit in a whole piece? And does it fit, let's say, in a feature film? You have a great scene, but sometimes that's what I'm learning now. It doesn't mean that you cannot force a scene that is so great into a feature film if that doesn't work. Sometimes it can be just a short film. Sometimes it can be for totally a different story. And but yeah, music for me, it's a big drive. But I'm trying to do things differently now, of just focusing on characters and the story itself, and then you had the sauce, the music, and then the location and stuff like that. But I know that, for example, I just for On the Horizon, we had the theme song of the film, and when I heard that song, it's just like it clicked, like that. Yeah. Oh, and that's the beginning, and and then I start writing, and it made sense. So yeah, it's fuel to my imagination.
Where did you first hear that song?
It was the guy that I was searching on SoundCloud for music, and I wrote ambient, and then one guy popped up, and I heard one of the song that he did. It was super electro 80s vibe, and I saw just the melody behind the song. If you remove all the craziness, that the big electro that I didn't like, but if the melody behind it, I was just like, that's my theme song. So I wrote the guy, I say, hey, I'm doing a feature film, I love your song, and do you want to do a remix version for my film? He's like, oh yeah. So we start working on it, and I love music, so I know what works, what doesn't work. I'm not a composer itself, but I know that when you send me something, that how to change it. And so it was a beautiful collaboration with the composer. We had two composers that did completely two different styles, but they brought something that worked. For example, the ending of On the Horizon, we had a big song of 14 minutes. It's a long ambient song, but it just clicked everything together, and I was having a hard time just, how do I do that? Do I put no music? It's just gonna be sound design. But then when I heard that song, it just made everything flawless. And that's what I've learned a lot. My next film is gonna be just full of music from start to finish. But music is a very delicacy to play with, because it can destroy your film or it can make it.
Right. And I felt you used music to show emotion incredibly well in the film. Was there more than just one musician that was involved? And you said you had composers, but I thought I read about 25 bands or something.
Yeah, we got a lot of bands. We have two composers who created the songs in the film, but mostly when there's lyrics or people singing, that was real band. So we had, I think, 9-10 bands. And that, again, it goes back that when you have a piece of work, like let's say you have short film and stuff like that, it's easier to just say, hey guys, here's my demo reel, I'm doing a feature film, I would love to use one song in my film, I'll give you exposure, I'll give you credit in the poster, film, blah blah blah, you're gonna have a copy, and we can sell the music on iTunes, I'm gonna give you a profit, blah blah blah. So when it's, at least you're doing something fun and creative and the quality is there, a lot of people is gonna be eager to jump in. But if you kind of do shitty work, then there's a good chance that people will not give their music. And I've been refused a lot of time, people not giving their song. Sometimes is the publishing right or stuff like that, the big company who doesn't want to give the song. But mostly when you write to the band directly They're super open about it, and I've been lucky. That's the but for my film, music has been everything, and I've been super lucky to get amazing bands. I've never really had a big problem finding music, but it's hard to find the right song for the right moment. Like for example, the intro of On the Horizon, we had a 5-minute segment of the credit, and the band was Silver Swan, and I found that song, and it's just like, that's it, you know. But yeah, that song represents a lot of emotion. If you check the film, all the lyrics are there for a reason. It's not just there for fun. The lyrics represent the emotion, and that's why sometimes I love not to write dialogue. Sometimes it's just the music will do it itself, and that's why there's a lot of dreamy sequence in my films, because I think it's stronger to let the audience think what they want to think, instead of just like, here's what I'm trying to give you. You know what I mean?
When you're searching for this music, so I know for the opening, I think you said you typed in ambient,
Yeah.
and then you found this person. But like other times, let's suppose there's the fight scene or different things where there's a harder edge emotion. What are you typing in if you're going on SoundCloud or wherever?
I'm not a big fan of just let's put music to put music. For example, the big scene in On the Horizon Weather in the White Desert, there was a big argument, and I didn't want music, because I know if I wanted to put music now, it would be maybe a little bit soapy. You know, it's just like I'm trying to make you feel something. So, and I wanted to just be about the characters and the anger and the conflict. And but when it's time to be dreamy, romantic, whatever, then yeah, it's just easier. But that's the thing, you have to be picky about music. Otherwise, you can destroy your film. So you need to place. If you're going to do some kind of music, sometimes it can just be some kind of a drone, darker mood, just to elevate some of the scene. But I'm not a big Hollywood like, dun, dun, I don't care about that.
Right. I noticed with a lot of European films, they have an excellent use of music in that they sometimes just use one keyboard note,
Right.
and that's totally effective. Whereas, yes, I agree, American films beat you over the head with like this
Exactly.
da 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 da, and then. So it's almost like the music is a third character.
It is.
In the film.
Location, art, music, and yeah, it's even with we're working on the next film right now, and we have the theme song already. And I said the same thing. I said we need to make something that is so simplistic, because for me, I think when it's so complex, you lose the magic of it. So sometimes just the simple 3 notes can be just magical. That's really can drive the emotion home. So. But you need talent. You know, you need to work with great composer who knows how to create those moments.
So do they see a rough cut of the film with no
No.
music? No.
I just tell them scenes, or sometimes I was just like, I need that kind of vibe with this, and because when I edit, I like to have my song already, because it changed everything. You know, when you have, for example, the ending, I did the editing, but when I had the song with the 14-minute songs, it changed the editing. So that's why even for him now, because there are music band or there are composers that love. For me, for example, I said, "Hey, send me anything that you have that is new," and he says, "Oh, I got this song, but I think it's shit. I'm not sure." And then he sent me that song. It was exactly the song of the end of On the Horizon. I was like, "This is the song." It's like, "Are you sure?" Like, I don't like it. It's like, it is perfect. Send me that. So I'm not a big fan of let's create something for the film, for the images. I love to just use stuff that is right there, that they already did from themselves, that can be on an album, for example, and then I'm using that directly. So I don't know, that's how I prefer to, it's more natural for me to use that.
And then you can manipulate it on the timeline as to, should I move it up here a little more? Should I?
Yeah, I prefer to move my images than
Right.
move the song itself, because if I fall in love with the song, my pieces will move automatically. So even for my other project, I'm like, yeah, let's create something that is going to be the same vibe, but still melancholy and da-da-da. And I just let them grow. And I said, give me little 30-second clips of what you're creating. And then when I see something that I love, I say, oh, let's dig this. Let's make it 8 minutes. And then he goes. But I've been really lucky to find that guy that I did On the Horizon with. There are 2 guys, but they've just been both amazing. Completely different process for each guy. One was more self-made, like we tweaked the song, compared to the other one was music that it was from an album, that it was ambient, but worked perfectly with the images. So